What if I told you that every breath you take is both a beginning and an end? That with every sunrise, we're not just given another chance to live, but also another step toward dying? It sounds intense, maybe even uncomfortable. But sit with it for a moment. Life is the art of dying. At first, this phrase may seem dark or morbid, but it's one of the most profound truths we can come to understand. Life and death aren't enemies, they are dance partners. You can't have one without the other. And the art of life, at its highest form, is learning how to face death, not just at the end, but every single day. From the very beginning, the journey of life is also a journey toward death. This isn't a tragedy, it's what gives our time here value. It's what makes every moment matter. Imagine this. If you lived forever, what would urgency even mean? What would it mean to forgive, to say I love you, to follow your dreams today if you had infinite tomorrows? The truth is our mortality is not a curse. It's our compass. It teaches us to prioritize what's real, what matters, what lasts beyond us. Dying well doesn't mean having control over how or when we die. It means living so fully, so intentionally, that when the end comes, we can greet it without fear or regret. So, how do we master this art? We begin by dying to our ego, that part of us that clings to pride, to perfection, to the need to always be right. We learn to let go of the illusion of control and embrace the uncertainty that life offers. We learn to die to our attachments, to material things, to people who no longer serve our growth, to the false stories we tell ourselves. We die to the past, to guilt, to shame. We release the things we were never meant to carry for so long. And in doing so, we become more alive. Every time we let go, we make space. Space for growth, space for truth, space for love. This is not a loss, it's a transformation. The great philosophers, mystics, and sages have always reminded us, if you want to truly live, practice dying. Because in the face of death, everything unnecessary fades. All that remains is what's true. Think of the samurai of ancient Japan. Before battle, they would meditate on death not to depress themselves, but to become fearless. They knew that the warrior who accepts death is the one who fights with pure clarity, or the Stoics who practiced memento mori, remembering death every day, not to dwell in sadness, but to awaken gratitude, to sharpen their focus, to live with urgency and meaning. And then there are people who've had near-death experiences. Almost every one of them comes back changed, not because they learned something new, but because they remembered what really matters. Time, love, connection, presence, kindness, purpose. These are the brushstrokes of the masterpiece we call life. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be rich. But if you can leave this world having loved deeply, forgiven sincerely, helped someone without expecting anything in return, and grown into the best version of yourself, you have lived well. You have mastered the art, because death is not the enemy. A meaningless life is. We fear death because we're afraid we haven't really lived. But when we live each day like it's a chapter in our legacy, death becomes not an end, but a punctuation mark at the end of a beautiful story. And the beauty is, every single day you get to decide, what kind of story am I writing today? You see, the people who truly live are the ones who have come to terms with the reality of death. They know it's not about escaping death, but embracing life. Not in grand dramatic ways, but in the small, quiet choices we make. How we treat others, how we treat ourselves, how honest we're willing to be. Life is the art of dying, means living in such a way that when the curtain falls, you can bow gracefully. No regrets, no unfinished business, just peace. So today, ask yourself, if I had just 1 year left, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? Who would I call? What would I say that I've been holding back? Who would I forgive? And more importantly, how would I show up right now? The answers to these questions don't just teach you how to die well. They teach you how to live wisely. Because in the end, when death comes, and it always does, it won't ask you how much you owned, how many followers you had, or how perfect your life looked from the outside. It will only ask, did you love? Did you grow? Did you live fully despite the fear? And if you can answer yes, then congratulations. Now you've learned the art. You've mastered the most profound truth of all. That life is not a battle to avoid death, but a chance to dance with it gracefully, consciously, and beautifully until